All right, welcome to another morning in not so much paradise. It's pretty cruddy out there. It's cold. It's like 10 degrees C, so she's not looking too good. But I've been playing with this throttle. I haven't got a lot of it on video, but of me playing around with it. But I have asked a few questions on the Facebook and that for people to help me out. This is a genuine cold start, so we'll see what happens. I haven't quite got my cranking enrichments and everything worked out properly yet, but I think I've got the idle side of it actually sorted. We'll see what happens. This is a genuine cold start. So, prime it up. Oh, look at that. That is a genuine cold start. Oh, that's just beautiful. Should be around about 1200, and look at that, 1200. And it comes down to about 850 once it's warm. I'm really, really, really happy with that. So happy. Now I'll turn that off. My fuel gauge is telling me that I've got 1% fuel left, so that's not very good. It was on 50 and now I've got 1, so it's gone down pretty fast, me mucking around with it. So yeah, anyway, the next mission that I've got to do on this is actually join the pipe up to the throttle. So because it's in a slightly different place. But all in all, I've had a pretty good experience getting this whole thing to start and run. You've been through it with me, but what we've got, I had a few issues, and the community was very helpful and got them all worked out in the end. Most of the issues that we had were self-inflicted, and me not having understanding of the software in Tuner Studios properly and what a lot of the settings meant. But I worked my way through it and everything's come up good. So that's what we got. There was one issue. The first issue I had was when last time we were speaking, I had to get my fuel lines on. So I got my fuel lines rerouted because the Chinese fuel lines were splitting. So I put new fuel lines through the car. And then when I went to actually put the fuse in for the fuel pump relay, this is where all my relays are here instead of an airbag, my fuel pump relay at the back there, I had swapped my fuel pump relay and my fan relay and my main ECU relay I'm trying to do the right thing, of course, swapping them with a diode protected relay, as the instructions say. To stop any voltage spikes from damaging the ECU when things turn off and on. And little did I know, when I originally wired it, I hadn't really heard of diode protection that much, and my 85 and 86 pins on not the ECU relay, but the fan relay and the fuel pump relay, 85 and 86 pins were reversed, 85, 86 reversed. And so what that meant is that the ECU could not work them properly, and it took me a while to figure it out, but in the end, that's what it was. So I had to pull up this fuse block system I've got here and just de-pin it and repin it in the correct way. And once that was done, then the fuel pump and the fans all started to work. So that was my first little hiccup. Second little hiccup was me dabbling with idle control settings with the electronic throttle body. There are a multitude of settings in there, and I was racking my brains over trying to get them all set up. I'd done calibrations, I'd done pedal calibrations, I'd done throttle self-learns, I mucked around with the PID system, I mucked around with all the settings over and over and over again, and I was just like, what is going on? Why can't I get this thing? It would start and run. I could get it to idle. high if I turned the setting up, and it would idle high. then it would be too high when it was hot, so I'd turn it back down, and then obviously then it would be too low when it was cold, and I was going around in circles, and I just couldn't quite get my head around it. And then with some help from some people on the Facebook, Nick Hay and some other guys that know what they're talking about, they said, oh, you've just got to use this table, this table here, and alter it. And I was like, well, they'd given me an example of the table, and it was different to their example that they'd shown me. And so their tuner studios and my tuner studios had the tables listed differently. But I should have still been able to work it out. And eventually I did work it out. And as soon as I got onto that, everything was better. And as you can see, that nice cold start there, everything just worked out perfectly. The thing starts, runs, idles, and warms itself up, and idle comes down accordingly. And it's on closed loop idle control now, so it even, it self-tunes itself to the set targets that you've given it, and everything's working perfectly. I couldn't be more happy. And all these troubles I had, like I said, were self-inflicted. It's just a learning curve, and but got through it, and it's all good. So I'm happy with that. The next things I had, I'm going to have problems with, or have had problems with. I figured it out. I have on my dashboard over here, I have a couple of switches there, and they are to do with my launch control and anti-lag. Obviously, that's the most important thing in the whole project, is getting that working. And the deal is I've got a clutch switch there that activates it. I've got a master switch on the dashboard, then it then incorporates the clutch switch, and I have an optional switch on the steering wheel as well that bypasses the clutch switch. So I've sort of got a bit of everything there. And I went to, obviously, once I got the thing running, I thought, well, now it's time to set up launch control and see if I can make some pops and bangs like a wanker. And it turns out it wouldn't accept the signal, and lo and behold, I hadn't followed the instructions again. The default pin in the uaefi requires a pull-up resistor, which I hadn't put in there. So for that to work, otherwise it's just a floating switch. So that'll be next on my list. So it's all good. So I'll just put a resistor in there, and we'll get this thing running with some launch control, and then I'll be able to muck around with other settings. But yeah, the main thing is I've got to tie up these fuel lines in the engine bay under here that I've just floating around a bit. And I have, obviously, I've got to alter that bit of pipe work there as it goes through this bulkhead here. And yeah, see what happens. So that's next on my list. And I'll start it up again. And I've got to play with my acceleration enrichment. Here we go. There we got it. We got it. Yeah, so my acceleration enrichment is yeah, so once it's warm it comes right. Okay, I suppose I can't expect too much. And I also like to point out right here we have a readout for my wideband, and it's working perfectly. The onboard wideband system is working perfectly. It's so good. Not having to worry about external wideband modules, and also not having to worry about like earth offsets and things, when things are earthed in different places and they read differently to what they are. So, the thing just works. I'll wait for this to warm up a bit, and I'll show you what this acceleration enrichment looks like. Alright, just tried out a few little settings on my acceleration enrichment tables and what have you, and this is the sort of thing I'm dealing with now. It's good. You can see this. Give it a rev. and the recovery is not too bad. I'm working on it, getting it a lot better, but I'm really happy with that so far. So a few settings, everything's working out pretty good. I'm sort of getting the hang of it, and I'm sure you will too once you go through it like I have. So everything's looking good. Right, I'll turn that off. Let's see what our start's like. And it comes down. There we go, look at that. Yeah, we're getting there, it's all good.